The first thing anyone ever asks me when they find out I'm Jewish is, "You Jewish? And you live in Berlin, Germany, of all places?" All young Jews in Germany have a really big task because we are the people they must tell other people from other countries why we're living in Germany, why we're living in this place where we was killed by the Germans. It has always been a dream of mine to show Jewish life in modern-day Berlin, navigating the past while living in the present. My name is Semon Shabaev. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a young Jew from Berlin, Germany. From an early age on, I was taught to respect my elders and to love and honor my Jewish faith. Because of our Jewish faith, my father decided to leave the former Soviet Union and had to choose between the US, Israel, and Germany. He decided to go to Germany, even despite Germany's dark past. He believed in their country, and he also believed in the opportunity he would get to start a new life here in Germany. The family is the most important thing to me. They helped me to become this person who I am today. My mother is not only my mother, she's my best friend too.
Meinem Sohn Semon ist die jüdische Religion sehr wichtig. Deutschland bot den Juden die Möglichkeit, in den 90er Jahren wieder nach Deutschland zurückzukommen.
Anna is my sister, and she's almost like a twin. She's only 1 year younger. She's my better half. I love her so much. She's also very creative, plays the piano, and composes her own pieces.
Being a Jew in Germany offers you a lot of opportunities. I can live my Jewish personality and I can show that I'm Jewish, I'm proud to be Jewish. It's important to keep the Jewish roots because we are a nation and we've been going through so much. Despite this hard history and this hard time we've been going through, we built up a big community.
I think the life gives you two families. One you are born with, and the other one you choose by yourself. Jakob is my best friend. Anna, he and I are kind of inseparable. Every time, if you look at the picture, I'm always smile, but my sister not. I'm smile and you're not.
But here I'm smiling.
Yeah, because I'm not here. I wanted to include Jakob and Anna in this film because together we not only represent the younger generation of German Jews, but each of us brings different aspects to the heart of this film in a way that no one person can, because the subject really is bigger than all of us. I was always very shy and introverted. I started building walls around me to protect myself. But when I was 11 years old, I joined a group of Jewish youngsters who invited me to visit a Jewish youth center. Being with other Jewish kids every Sunday helped me feel more self-confident. So today I wanted to introduce our Jewish youth center called Olam, where we get together every Sunday. Olam has played an important part in my life. Why is Olam important?
We give possibilities to the kids here that they don't get every day because not every Jewish child is in a Jewish elementary school or a Jewish high school. And we give them the possibility every Sunday to learn something about Judaism, to meet new Jewish friends, to learn something about history, about Jewish traditions. I personally find the youth center is one of the most important departments of the Jewish community in Berlin. The kids that come here become later members of the board of the Jewish community, principals and teachers in the schools, and some of them also go to the Israeli army. It all begins in Olam.
Today, I work as madrich, or a youth guide. I see myself not so much as a teacher, but as a big brother, and I consider it my duty to guide these young people and to pass on our traditions to the next generation. What do we celebrate next week? Yeah.
And we celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut, it's the independence of Israel.
Right. And how do we celebrate this?
We go to the synagogue and we celebrate it like the birthday of Israel.
Right. Yom Ha'atzmaut is the birthday of Israel. Okay, guys, thank you for your attention, and we go eat something, right? Okay, auf drei. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei ne'etzot.
Today we interview Rabbi Yoshua Spinner. He's been living and working in Berlin for almost 20 years and really knows all about the Jewish community here. I have a lot of questions for him.
There's no question that there's been a resurgence or even a renaissance of Jewish life in Berlin. And there were a number of things that Germany undertook. And one of those things was a commitment to rebuilding Jewish life. It seemed to me that Germany has done a significant job in trying to come to terms with the past and in trying to ensure that it, not its Jews, but it is fundamentally different. So if you ask me, am I concerned about anti-Semitism in Germany today in a way that affects my life now? No. In a way that may affect my life in 10 or 20 years and put a question mark over this entire project then? Yes, definitely. The people who feel today German and Jewish are not making a claim that they are German Jews. They're making a claim that they are German and Jewish, and these things are not contradictory or they're comfortable with both. So it's kind of a new thing. Of course, living in Germany, tragedies that happened more recently, but also the important and exciting and positive things that happened in Germany and in Europe over the 1,000 years of the history of Jewish people here. An unbelievable intellectual history. The amount of scholarship of the Torah that took place in this country is astounding. From the 11th century straight through till shortly before the Second World War and the Holocaust. Right? From a German perspective, perhaps what's extraordinary is that some level of forgiveness has been possible and some level of change has been possible, and that there is a different country today than the one that existed before, and that enough Jews feel comfortable living here, certainly relative to other places in the world, that they do live here. That's one piece of the story. From the Jewish perspective, what's extraordinary is almost, it's a mirror image of that, is the incredible resilience of our people. The importance of being here, not for German society, but for the rest of Jewish society, is such a clear and compelling sense of mission and purpose that it outweighs any of the insecurities. When the room here and the children here look and act and sing and engage and observe just like Jewish kids in London, just like Jewish kids in New York, that matters. That's important.
In Berlin, you can never escape the past. Past and present always live side by side.
Here was once the Berlin Wall. Right there. You can see it actually on this line. You see?
For me, it's important to do a tour of historical Jewish sites. The sites are a good way for people to honor the fate of millions of Jewish people who died during World War II. And there's no better person to take us around than Jakob. Jakob is like an expert in all things German and Jewish. To me, it's important to know the history of our country. We all know about the past, especially National Socialism. Because it's so important to remember this time, there are monuments everywhere.
Standing here is just a horrible feeling. When I think about it, that the stones symbolize the dead people, I get goosebumps.
When you walk through Berlin and you see this memorial, when you look up, you see the American flag on its embassy. And when you look straight, you see the German flag on the Reichstag. You can see actually the whole German history of the past 8 years. This is a very emotional place. It's in the center of Berlin, it's in the heart of Germany, it's in the heart of Europe. It's reminding us always the worst genocide in human history happened in the last century here in Germany.
Between 1941 and 1945, track 17, which was once a regular train track and part of the Grunewald station in Berlin, became the train track from which Jews were deported to concentration camps in Eastern Europe, including Auschwitz. In October 1991, the track was turned into a memorial site. The steps up to the tracks are the very same steps taken by those who were brought here to be deported.
We're here in Grunewald, in a borough where there is a lot of Jewish people, where there used to be even more Jewish people. They were literally taken from their homes, from their home train station, to the last days of their lives.
The grounds you walk on is the ground my people walked on. It's an eerie feeling.
You know, for the people here, it used to be also just a common, just a normal place where they came to catch a train, to take a trip somewhere. It was something completely daily. And from one day to another, it changed during the Holocaust. Today, this is a train station as it used to be, except for this platform, which is part of the German remembrance culture. That you shall never forget what happened in the past. It's undoubtedly true that there is a rise of anti-Semitism in the present day. Thank God I don't experience it personally, but it's still an important matter we have to face.
We must understand what is anti-Semitism.
I think the people always need a victim group or a group who are weaker than themselves.
A minority.
Yeah, it's always a minority.
People think about Jewish people, they're so rich. The people think the world is ours.
So you can see what all this anti-Semitism can lead to, actually. We're sitting on a place like this, where the anti-Semitic people finally got to power and started not only to discriminate, but to kill.
I was born in this country, as a German and a Jew. It is important to me to show how this country is dealing with its dark past, and not just with silent memorials, but actively remembering the dead. It is Holocaust Remembrance Day, and it's a grey, dark January day. The concentration camp is exactly 16 minutes from my home. 18 years ago, a few miles away from Berlin, people were murdered in the worst possible ways because of their beliefs. Looking at this place and thinking about what happened, it makes me doubt humanity. Until 1945, the Sachsenhausen concentration camp was the model camp for all other camps. It was built at a time when the world press was distracted watching the 1936 Olympics, which took place only a few miles away in Berlin. Every year, Germany marks International Holocaust Remembrance Day. This year, more than 18 years after the November pogroms, also known as the Kristallnacht or Crystal Night, Jews who were taken from their homes in Berlin on that night are being remembered in a special ceremony.
Am 9. November 1938 brannten in Deutschland die Synagogen. Das Novemberpogrom war der Anfang des Völkermordes an den europäischen Juden. Die deutsche Kultur hat sie nicht davon abgehalten. Es ist geschehen und folglich kann es wieder geschehen. Unsere Zeit ruft danach, ein neues Miteinander zu finden, ein Zusammenleben ohne Hass, ohne Rassismus, Diskriminierung und Ausgrenzung.
Moritz Marx, Siegfried Wolf, Gustav Herzhausen, Isaac Plaut, Sally Löwenstein, Samuel Reich,
Samuel Gumpert, Otto Schönfeld, Richard Wilde,
Oskar Jonas, Hans Klopstock, Max Wolf, Kurt Kamm, Viktor Lauer,
Markus van der Bück, Friedrich Böhm, Kurt Wagener, Hermann Sachs, Herbert Cohen.
As Germans, we learn about the Holocaust from early age on and becomes part of our identity. And it always ends in the same motto, never again and never forget.
The significance of this day to me personally is that we are from Germany and this is Germany's history. We have to remember this history because we are the next generation, we are the future.
When you walk the sidewalks of Berlin, you will notice special golden stones on the grounds. These are so-called Stolpersteine. The name literally means stumbling stones. These golden stones are placed into the sidewalks in front of the very buildings the Jews are deported from and bearing their names. I think having memorials is one thing, but putting a name to the endless numbers of deported and murdered Jews another. They deserve to be remembered by name and on a daily basis. This project was conceived by German artist Günther Demning.
There are many central monuments. You know, the River of Berlin, big monument, but it's anonymous. But the names, and it's happened here, not anywhere. So if you see the stone you want to read, you have to go. Well, and I think it's very important for the relatives. Because well, now there's a place they can remember. Because many of them, most of them, don't have a grave, don't have a gravestone.
While most stones commemorate the names of Jews who died in concentration camps, today's ceremony is dedicated to Jews who survived. Howard Shatner, the son of Holocaust survivor Max Shatner, sent words to be read for the ceremony.
Hear his own words. I would like to thank you all for coming on a quite cold February morning to participate in this very special event, the installation of Stolpersteine for 3 Holocaust survivors, my father, Meshulam Shatner, and his 2 brothers, Pearl and Jacob. It was 6 o'clock in the morning at October 28, 1938, when a loud knocking sounded at the family's front door. At the door was the police with an order to arrest the 3 brothers. They were taken, placed on a train, transported to the Polish border, and expelled from the country. For the next 9 years, they lived as refugees. Finally, they emigrated to New York City, where they began their new lives.
Many neighbors also attended. 2 current residents, a Jewish couple from Russia, who lives in the very same building Max Shatner used to live in, comes to pay their respects to the newly laid stumbling stones.
Ich wohne in dieser Wohnung und diese schönen Leute wohnen in dieser Wohnung. Und jetzt, ich bin sehr, sehr leid ab dieser Zeit.
The stumbling stones to me represent yet another way to remember the past while living in the present. I think the Stolpersteine are a symbol for us because 6 million Jewish people, it's a very big number, and one name or he had renamed to see, that's the other feeling. For some people, it's unbelievable to see police officers standing outside Jewish buildings. But for me, it's a normal thing. Berlin's city government offers police protection to all Jewish institutions around Berlin. Recently, anti-Semitism has once again become a more prominent issue, both in Germany and worldwide. It is important for me to talk about anti-Semitism. Today, we are at the Central Council of Jews in Germany. The Central Council recently implemented a new program called Likratz. It's a program designed to educate young Jews between the ages of 15 and 19 about Judaism.
Mit Likrat haben wir ein Programm entwickelt, bei dem wir es schaffen, Antisemitismus entgegenzuwirken und da den Menschen in den Vordergrund zu stellen, den Likratino oder die Likratina als eine authentische Person, die ihr Judentum auf ihre Art und Weise lebt und zu zeigen, das ist einer genauso wie du und ich.
With this program, we visit seminars where we learn how to convey the principles of Judaism to people who are not Jewish. Schools can request to have Likratinos come to their school to talk about Judaism. That's why I signed up for Likrat, to become a so-called Likratino. Our goal is to build bridges with the non-Jewish population and to address any prejudice or outright anti-Semitism. I feel it's important to show that we are all just normal people, just with different faiths, and that is okay. But that most of my generation doesn't blame young Germans for what their ancestors did.
Im Jahr 2021 werden wir 1700 Jahre jüdisches Leben in Deutschland feiern. Und heute sind wir in einer Zeit und einer Situation, wo wir eine starke jüdische Gemeinschaft haben, wo wir selbstbewusste jüdische Jugend haben. Eine Jugend, die sich zum einen zu ihrem jüdischen Glauben, zu ihren jüdischen Wurzeln bekennt und sich dessen bewusst ist und auf der anderen Seite mit beiden klar zu ihrem Land, zu Deutschland stehen. Das ist eine Besonderheit, was vielleicht für die Großeltern der Likratinos vielleicht sogar völlig unverständlich ist, wie man sich dann zu diesem Land in der Form auch bekennen kann. Also eine Entwicklung, wo auch innerhalb der jüdischen Gemeinschaft gezeigt wird, ja, wir sind hier zu Hause, wir sind bereit, an diesem gesamten großen deutschen Haus sind wir bereit zu bauen und ein Teil dessen zu sein und unseren Beitrag hierzu zu leisten.
One of the highlights for our youth center is to prepare for a singing and dancing contest called Eurovision. I have been taking part in Eurovision ever since I was 12 years old. This year, I'm not performing with the Euro, but I'm here to make a behind-the-scenes video journal.
Eurovision is the biggest competition hosted by the Central Council of the Jews in Germany for Jewish kids all over Germany.
Every year, we get to the event on Friday afternoon and celebrate Shabbat together. Everybody loves Eurovision because you connect with young Jews from all over Germany. Some Jewish people of my generation often feel, we need to remember. Yes, but is it not also time to move on? Live in the present and look to the future.
What we achieved, despite our past, the Jewish life exists in Germany, and that's the important thing.
We have to get out from this victim role.
Of course, the history has dark parts, but being Jewish here and showing that we are still here, we will not leave this country because it's ours too, as well as yours, is an act of power.
Das, was dich nicht umbringt, macht dich nur noch stärker. Wir werden immer stärker. Hanukkah, Purim, Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, Shavuot, Pesach und Simchat Torah. Lebe das Leben, 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 Leben. Und ich liebe dieses Leben. Morgens, mittags, abends, größer, lauter.
When somebody asks me, do you feel more Jew or do you feel more German? I can't answer on this question because I'm both. And I love to be both. This year was more exciting than ever. After preparing for Eurovision all year, we ended up winning first prize. It was an absolutely amazing feeling. But the most amazing thing was, despite the competition, there was an incredible sense of togetherness among us young Jews in Germany. To me, that's the biggest prize of all.